This week, the Fiends watched
Nightmare Alley.
Are you a true medium?
Yes, I am.
Are you in contact with the beyond?
Well, we've had our share of snake charmers in the past.
This is Guillermo del Toro's new movie,
One of my favorites.
and we don't know what each other thought. Very curious, very curious.
I'm very bi-curious right
And
now.
I have glasses on, guys, because the lights fuck with my eyes, or because I'm an asshole. We have not figured it out yet. We're still trying to.
50-50. So, I have to ask you first, man, about Nightmare Alley, and what did you think about it? Spoiler free for now.
I want to say I loved it. I really, really, really liked it. Couple little how do you do's, how do you be's. Some things don't make sense we'll get into, but overall it felt like classic cinema. It felt like a classic movie, from the set design to the acting to the lighting to the directing. Everything felt like a movie. I imagined I was in the theater watching this and just how awesome it would have been. So I'm giving it definitely a thumbs up from that aspect of it. It just felt like a movie. So that's what I'm going to say, Michael. Now, let's see if you're going to shatter my dreams or keep my hopes up and floating. You know what I'm saying? What did you think of Nightmare Alleys?
I gotta be brutally honest about Nightmare Alley. I enjoyed every minute. I am so satisfied with what Guillermo did, and I can mirror a lot of the stuff you said, but I'm not gonna because you're gonna get angry if I do. But it just felt like something I haven't watched in a while when it comes to filmmaking and just story and just acting. You're right. It was a breath of fresh air that I feel like I know I needed, because there's just been so many letdowns in the last couple years. And I loved the darkness of the movie. The movie's very bleak and very dark, but then it has some redeeming quality to it. So yeah, overall though, I really, really enjoyed Nightmare Alley.
Okay. Yeah, it's about a guy, Bradley Cooper. What's his name? You had it before.
I did have it before.
Stanton Dennison or some bullshit like that.
Stanton Carlisle.
Stanton Carlisle, and the movie opens up and he has a body and it's burning by a fire. What does he do next? He finds his way to a freak show by bus, gets to the freak show, has a job, couple months go by, makes friends with every single freak, meets a nice little girl played by Rooney Mara, learns some tricks of the trade by developing psychic powers, but he's really just a mentalist. His mentor dies, takes the book, goes to fucking the big city, makes a lot of money doing shows, meets a psychiatrist who does not trust him, and what do we know? Some scheming plots develop, and where does his character end up? We shall find out. That is the overall arching story of this here tale.
Am I correct?
What's crazy is that's word for word IMDb's breakdown.
Dude, come on, man. You gotta let him know. I memorized it, man.
You never do, and you did. That was insane. Wow, good job.
So hopefully you caught that. But yeah, that's what it's about. And
It's a great breakdown.
yeah, like you said, it's dark, but I feel like I didn't have a bad feeling watching it.
No,
like
me
watching
neither.
it, I kept getting a good feeling, you know? So I don't know. Yeah, themes are a little darky themes. But overall, the way it's shot and the way it's done, I never had a bleak, depressing mindset while watching it, you know?
Neither did I. It was just that was the tone of the movie, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean there's a lot of dark movies that you don't feel depressed watching. I felt uplifted, Michael.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this felt like filmmaking and cinema 101 with just watching it at home on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was fine with the length by the time it was over. Beforehand, a little nervous, 2.5 hours. Fine with it. This could have been 3 hours. I would have enjoyed it just as much.
Yeah, it very well could have been a show. I was watching it, and I'm not a big show guy, and I was like watching it going, okay, maybe I feel like things are rushed here. I'm like, all of a sudden, because he's basically a mentalist, and I am very fascinated by psychics and the defrauding of the public that these people do. Sylvia Brown, the Long Island Medium, a lot of people like to claim they speak to the dead, and I say it is 100% bullshit.
The reason why you didn't find him is because he's in water. Can't find somebody.
Well, it was September 11th. There was no, he was a fireman, but
I had no idea that this movie was about a swindler who is pretending to be a psychic. Once I started watching, I go, wait, this is what this is about? Hooked me right in, and I couldn't get enough of it because I don't even know if I can name another movie that is about anything like that. So I love that that's the route that this story takes.
Right, and I had no clue, excuse me, until after that. It was a book, and it also was, there was another movie in 1947 or some shit, right?
It's old, yeah.
And I never even heard of it. I asked Mom Dukes, and she said she heard of it, but didn't know anything about it, so this is her first viewing. And yeah, it has that old school filmmaking kind of look mixed with new school. I know it's kind of hard to explain, right? But it's because Guillermo's such a fucking fan of film that I think he's the perfect director for this movie.
Yeah, he is.
Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, no, dude, just the freak show alone, I was looking at the banners and the stages and every single prop. Like, to me, everything about this movie was done right. The story, I guess, was already there, so it's not... Maybe they could have changed some things to maybe make sense a little more in my head, because I was just going through things like, wait, hold on, why would she do that? There were things that we'll get to in a minute, but everything else, just from the props and the set design and the costumes and even the CGI of like backgrounds or whatever they had to do, everything felt like it could not have been done better. The freak show this is a freak show in 1941. Like, boom, this feels real. Even from the ropes that they show, just every little detail, care was put into it, thought was put into it, heart was put into it, and I can feel it through the screen. I felt it through the screen.
That's a great point. You could almost touch it. Like I was in that fucking carnival. I was in that freak show.
That's a freak, yeah, not a carnival.
Yeah,
they do call them carnies.
They do call them carnies. So
I guess it's a mesh. It's a carnival and a freak show because there's Ferris wheels,
I
right?
think in town the adverts or the advertisements, since we're talking old timey, would say local carnival down the street. I don't know if it says local freak show. I don't know.
Featuring a freak show.
Featuring a freak show.
You never know.
So it's both. It's a mash.
It's both. And yeah, so let's get into the story.
Yeah,
because I do have
please.
a couple how do you do's, how do you D's, you know?
Right.
It's you want to spoil or
we're gonna spoil it, guys.
So,
keep in mind it's on Hulu, it's on HBO Max, so feel free to check it out and then come back. Just want to throw it out there.
Absolutely, we are going to be spoilers from here on out for the rest of the video, but we do recommend it.
Absolutely.
Even though you could give a fuck what two idiots on YouTube think who you don't know, we're still going to say we recommend it.
When does it end? I want to know.
Bradley Cooper, okay, he's the main character, so you're with him, and you know there's a dead body in the beginning, and then there's flashes like, oh, he killed his dad, like what's going on? You don't really know. Then he becomes this quote-unquote famous mentalist, performing shows, making money, doing his thing. So I'm like, okay, I don't know his main motivation yet, but I feel like maybe his main motivation is just to find some sort of purpose in life, which, okay, I buy that. It's a vague idea, but we all have it. We all want purpose in our life. So I said, okay, that's his motivation, right? Then, as the movie goes on and he meets Cate Blanchett, who plays a psychiatrist by the name of
Dr. Lilith Ritter.
And she fits so perfectly in this time period. She just looks like she should be in that time period.
Absolutely.
What are you doing here, you chump? You know? So, long story short, he starts doing these shows and making money. Then he wants to go after the big people, the judges in town with money. This other really famous guy, really rich guy, who is played by Richard Jenkins. And are you waiting to say his name because you're making me nervous?
I feel like you're waiting for me to say the name.
You had it this time.
Ezra Grindle.
And he's the main focus of Bradley Cooper's hustle. But my problem is, why does Bradley Cooper keep going back to him and realize that he has to put Rooney Mara, his girlfriend, in some sort of costume to swindle Richard Jenkins into thinking it's his past love risen from the dead, because Richard Jenkins wants to apologize to her for making her abort their unborn son. He goes to all this length to do this, right? Mm-hmm. Why?
It's a good question. I mean, obviously, he's getting so much money. Like, he's getting so much money from Ezra.
So money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. if they established earlier, and this is my biggest problem with the movies, I didn't have his main motivation. If his main motivation is money, that's fine. But why is that his main he's making enough money. He could go to different people. He can go to he can keep doing his shows. If they made it a point earlier in the movie to be like he was so poor, all he's ever wanted was to be able to buy whatever he wanted, and his dad can never get whatever it was, just establish that he's always been trying to get rich. Then I buy that. Then I go, oh, he's so hypnotized by this idea of money and being rich that he will go to these lengths. But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, why just move to another city? Because Richard Jenkins kind of threatened him and shit. Leave the city. Like, why are you? I don't know. That was my main problem, was his motivation. I know that was a rant, but yeah.
It's fine. No, you're right, because he could easily reinvent himself anywhere, right? I mean, he can literally do a new fucking look, a new name, and he'd be, it's the 40s, guys. You could have fucking moved 2 states over and you never saw that person ever again the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just always got the impression, you're right, they don't establish that, but I'm just thinking, yeah, it's the money, it's the elite status, and if he can pull this off for Ezra Grindle, then he's going to have doors opened for so many other people that
For what?
More money.
That's my point, dude.
No. I'm with you though.
I'm saying, I'm with you. I thought about it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is obviously going to keep him, elevating him.
Right.
I go, but I didn't buy that he's going to these dire straits just to make money, because they never established that that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
They never established that.
True.
That's my problem with the character in the story, but that could just be the story. That's why I was saying I really like the movie, because the story's kind of predictable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you knew it was gonna backfire on him.
Yeah.
You just knew it, and he gets to that point though, right, where like he believes his own lies so much, and he's just gonna keep going to would do whatever it takes to finally pull off that ultimate heist or caper to get that money. I'm assuming, but you're right, they don't establish that. But in the movie, it's like first half is Carnival, second half is it's New York City, correct? So
yeah, I'm
or
sure.
Chicago, I don't know. Anyway, and that's how the movie split up into twos. Obviously, there's 3 acts like any movie, but it's split up, and you really get to see that he is completely gone. He is not the person that we met in the beginning. Although we don't really know the person in the beginning, you just see like yes sir, I'll do whatever it takes to help at this, freak show Carnival. So I'm running my own show, and he's making so much money. When he's getting 10 grand from Ezra, that's the equivalent of like 100 grand today every single time he sees him. So you're right, man. I mean, now you got me thinking about the motivations, and actually fuck this movie. I'm done.
Wow.
With it. No,
But I was, because that was my only thing. Yeah. It's like I wanted to follow him and be with him and be like, oh, I know why you're doing this. Because in a movie, you need to know why your main character is doing what he's doing. There needs to be a goal. This movie, to me, didn't have a goal, because I'm like, oh, he made it to be mental status. Now the rest of the movie is going to be about his relationship with Rooney Mara. Like, where is this going?
Right.
So I mean, it might be a minor nitpick, but again, it just popped out at me as like, you're going to this the situation at the end is crazy of what he's doing. Yeah. And I'm like, why is he even doing this? Just leave. Like, go somewhere else if you think your life's... I don't know, but, that's it. Everything else I did really enjoy.
Yeah, you're right, because he pulls... Let's say he does pull it off with Ezra, then what's next?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point, yeah.
And then the only other thing right before we're wrapping up is Cate Blanchett's motivation for me was... What do you think her motivation was?
Money. Because she was using Bradley Cooper to do all the dirty work, make him look like a mental patient, and just keep all the shkadol that's in the fucking safe.
Okay. It wasn't money. Okay,
what do you think?
I don't think it was money. It was revenge, because of what she says at the end.
Well,
she has enough money. She's like a famous... It wasn't even about the money. It was about the revenge for her, because she's like, do you feel powerful now? She's saying all this shit, but again, it wasn't really clear to me. And she states, she's like, I don't care about the money.
That's true. That's true.
A bunch of times. So I was like, wait, why did she go to these elaborate lengths? I go, oh, just because he embarrassed her? Like, at the show, that's it? Another fault where I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if the story doesn't seem as clever as something that, in the 21st century or 2020, yeah.
Yeah, 20th century, yeah. But, and then, the other thought I had was like, well, it's because she can see through him that she's like, you shouldn't be doing this, so I'm going to wrong you.
So she's coming from a righteous thing, you're saying?
Possibly. Again, it's not established, but it's like she knows this guy's full of shit, and she knows it's all just from the jump. at that.
Yeah, but
show.
she's fucking over all the other judges and all the other people, so she's not coming from a righteous point.
that's
You know what I'm
true.
saying?
That's true.
She's definitely not coming from like a where you shouldn't be doing this to people. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Definitely not.
She's breaking HIPAA like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, bro. There's no way she's coming from the angle of like, yeah, the only kind of innocent character in this is Rooney Mara. Basically, she's the only character that's like the innocent character. So again, I don't know. Kate Blanchett's was I was like, I knew a reveal was coming, and I'm like, oh, like, wait, she just it wasn't it wasn't kind of fleshed out. Where I
Right.
go, she just did it for revenge, just because I mean, okay, like if you want to go to this elaborate ruse to do that, okay,
True.
But yeah, that was it.
So yeah, I mean, the plan gets fucked, obviously, and he has to now be on the run. There's so many deaths, there's so many fucking murders, and now he's a full-blown alcoholic.
Yep.
Which earlier in the film he did not drink. It was such a point for him to not drink because of his dad. And he is on the run as a hobo, just jumping town to town, selling his dad's watch for a bottle of booze, and then he stumbles upon another fucking carnival.
Yep.
Mikey, that last scene. Got me so good.
Fantastic.
Allegedly first take by Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And the way he delivers, I was born for this.
I was born for it.
I was just like, he got me. My jaw dropped, and that was the end of the movie. And I was like, dude, this is a treat.
So what he's saying is he meets up with the head of the carnival, and he's like, I need a job. And in the beginning, Willem Dafoe explains to him how he takes these addicts and these alcoholics and turns them into the geek, like the beast of the show that eats chickens and shit. And to see that character's transformation all the way through the movie from the high to go to the low, meets up with this, the head of this carnival. And lo and behold, I didn't even see it coming. I'm like, oh, I'm so dumb. Like, of course he has a beard, he has a long hair. Like, I should have been like, oh, he's gonna offer me the role of the geek. And then he starts talking, and I go, oh, no way, is he gonna offer him the role of the geek? And then he does, and you go, wow, that full circle of the lies and the manipulating of people. And he says, all the lines that Willem Dafoe said of how he makes these people become geeks. And Bradley Cooper says, I was born for it. And the movie ends. In the original movie, the line was, I was made for it. Okay.
It was, yeah. So I know Guillermo said he's been asked about that, and I don't know. I'm assuming there was no clear-cut answer on why he changed it, but I like that.
What did he say to that when they asked him?
I honestly can't. I don't even think he really gave the answer. I just think I think we're to assume it hits harder, better. Like, what sounds more effective? I was born for it. I was made for it. Yeah, they're very similar.
No,
but
I just, because I was watching a video and they were like, I'm not sure why Guillermo changed it, so I didn't know that. Like, he was asked about it, and like I had no idea.
I
That's a
didn't
major
see an
change.
answer. No, it's a
Okay.
major change. I did not see the
change.
answer. And also in the original film, there's scenes after that.
Yeah.
You saw that, right? It's crazy. So, guys, in the original, he actually meets up, or the Rooney Mara character finds him and gets him out of being a geek because the studio said this has to have a happy ending. So I'm so fucking glad that Guillermo's probably like, no, fuck that. We're not doing that. And it
Would've
just,
been horrible.
oh, dude, it would have ruined it. But that last scene, I mean, that shows that, to me, that's one of Bradley Cooper's best roles is this movie. He is just fantastic from start to finish. And he has to do a lot of different voice changes, right? Because he has to do a lot of different accents. I thought he was fantastic in this.
I thought he was okay. That was my thing, was like, I feel like I never bought that he was this evil, manipulative schemer. Bradley Cooper doesn't play that part well. He doesn't come off like that well. He's always plays like the, like kind of like the,
all right.
He just doesn't have that feature where I believe that he is evil inside. I don't get that from him. He did a good job acting, but I just think his presence is so built now that it was hard for me to believe that he had this decrepit, kind of really evil side. I think a different actor could have made me believe that more. The transformation in the beginning, I totally bought Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Like when he's at the first freak, I was like, oh, Bradley Cooper plays this to a T. Once the last half, I didn't buy. I don't know. But that might just be subjective. That might be me. That's how I see Bradley Cooper. Like, I feel like if you put a different person in this role, maybe a little Sam Rockwell, maybe a little, like I feel like Ben Affleck couldn't play this. I feel like Matt Damon couldn't play this. Like those That's where I put Bradley Cooper in that. He's like kind of like that leading man, like that hero kind of leading man guy.
Okay.
That's where I put Bradley Cooper in that. See?
So here begs the question. How do you feel if it was Leo DiCaprio? Would it be the same issue? Because
the
he was
only
almost cast.
villain that I can think is Candy from Django Unchained.
Hey! Lay your palms flat on that tabletop. If you lift those palms off that turtle shell tabletop, Mr. Pooch is gonna let loose with both barrels that sawed off.
And you kind of like him in that. That's the only really villainous role I see Leo playing, and that's it out of all his roles.
Yeah.
So Leo's kind of in that same camp, but he's one of the biggest movie stars in the world. So
Sure.
it's like, it's a little different with Leo. They would have just had to do it, and maybe would have been fine. I just feel like Sam Rockwell has more of the, he came up as a character actor, and I feel like you would buy it more that he becomes this evil person. I didn't buy that from Bradley Cooper. I just didn't. I had more like just sympathy for him, you know, kind of towards, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Again, that could just be subjective, that I just don't buy him as that character.
You're blinded by the hotness. I've been there.
Come on in and behold the mysteries of the universe.
If your foot slips, we both fall.
Yeah.
Like, imagine Willem Dafoe 20 years ago playing this role. Imagine that.
Oh, I mean, now we're talking Oscar-winning.
I don't know about it. I don't want to go
I
that
would.
far.
I am.
But you love Bradley Cooper.
I love
just
Bradley Cooper.
saying,
Dafoe's fantastic.
I'm just saying someone like that who can really switch it. Really switch it off to where you think he's either the good guy and you want to be best friends with him, or someone who you would never want to meet in the real world. Bradley Cooper didn't pull that off to me. He just didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
That's me.
Hey, that's no problem.
That's it. So
Scores?
those were my, do you have any problems with it besides, you know, like what were your main, what was anything? I know I mentioned the motivation and stuff. What, did you have any other gripes with it?
No, I
No.
really didn't.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I really did not. Again, it's not perfect, but I don't think any 2.5-hour movie is, right? It's very
I think it was
difficult.
too long, you're saying?
No, it's just
What do
it's
you
not
mean?
perfect. But there's nothing that I can really pick out that I was like, dude, I just didn't like that.
Okay.
I see what you obviously are seeing about the motivation, and that can be the biggest one. I didn't have any issues really with this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. So, all right, score, man. So,
I think I gotta go first.
What is it?
I'm gonna give this movie a 7.9.
7.9. Oh, I think that's what it has on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll put the picture up if I'm right. That's good. A 79 on Rotten Tomatoes. That would be good if I think I remember looking it up last
for real?
night.
All right.
Yeah. I might be wrong. I think it is 79.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure. We'll find out right now. So I'll give this movie I'm going to give it an 8.0.
Ooh.
I'm going to give it an 8.0. That's it. Again, guys, don't go to freak shows looking for jobs because you're going to wind up a geek.
You don't want to be a geek. We've been there, you know.
Everybody loves chicken.
Not raw.
So that's it. Make sure you don't subscribe. Don't share this with anyone. It's just between us here.
Literally, like,
Yeah.
close the phone and
Don't-
then you never, that's it.
Yeah, trust me, guys. You don't want people watching you. But besides that, thanks for stopping by the Watch Show one more time.
As always.
We will be back. Yes, chap, we will be back next time with something not about a freak show in 1941 and a mentalist disturbing and defrauding people.
That's guaranteed.